delivering on the growth plan has implications in three ways. It's planning for that growth in the first instance. It's, as public works professionals, it's developing the long-term capital and operating plan to be able to deliver on those servicing expectations, and innovation is a big part of those first two pieces. Urban form, the nature of the infrastructure itself, meeting environmental concerns, and then the third piece is standing up the financing for it. But how can we infra-stretch our existing infrastructure to make the best use of what we've already sunk into the ground and what we have recently expanded to service an ever-growing population? And that drives innovation in terms of operational strategies, energy savings, and certainly savings in terms of deferred capital. There's lots of innovation that's happening in the municipal sector, and I think it's all heavily reliant on collaboration, alignment, stretch goals for all of us, and a real commitment to work together to develop practical roadmaps to get there.
We're not in the water and wastewater business here. Nobody in this room is. We're in the healthcare and environmental business, right? Everybody realizes that, and everybody's hopefully well in tune for that.
Innovation leads, but regulation must follow closely. It will stifle innovation if it doesn't follow closely. When you're working in smaller communities with planning processes, official plans that have embedded in them certain requirements for technology, types of technology being used in the water sector, it can take a long time to change an official plan to get that environment modified. So approvals of 6, 9, 12 months or more for new technology, new innovations do not enable new technology.
One of the huge opportunities with a municipal wastewater plant is to think about it becoming the central organic processing facility for the community, for the region, not just for wastewater coming in. Wastewater is a big part of it. Wastewater has all kinds of resources that can be recovered, and anaerobic digestion can be a central part of that. But when you think about all the organics getting diverted now, or should be diverted from going to landfills, those could be co-digested in a wastewater plant. They're an energy source and a nutrient source. I think there's an opportunity to partner with municipalities to take that financial burden off the municipalities and fund it over a 20-year period in certain situations.
There's only one answer, and that's full cost pricing. We have to get, as municipalities, we all have to get to full cost water rate pricing. And some of us with, our elected officials, there's a desire to keep the water rates in check. So those municipalities that are getting 0 rate increase, 1 or 2%, are probably not contributing to reserves as a proxy for depreciation. So in terms of sustainable asset management in the long term, that's a challenge. We're starting to see the environmental benefits in terms of water conservation. That basically the per capita water consumption rate in all 16 of the member municipalities is declining. But that has a collateral impact on asset management and financing that in the long term, because that's our revenue source. So to the extent we have variable revenue and then a growing asset management need, you can see that there's a gap that's opening up there. So again, it's not just full cost pricing, it's understanding some of our fixed versus variable costs and the fixed cost of contributing to reserves for asset management in the long term, not just dependent upon the volumetric revenue that we're getting. So I think we've got to bake in as municipalities the impact of water conservation, and that may drive some nearer term, even heightened price pressure because of that declining consumption.
Full cost pricing idea works for a large municipality with a large residential base and industrial base, but when you're dealing with a smaller municipality, the full cost pricing idea to fund a treatment facility or collection infrastructure can be tens of millions of dollars loaded onto a small municipality if they're going to use the conventional approaches. And that's where the innovation piece comes in, that if we can innovate and allow some more simple solutions for them to deal with the problem, then their full cost pricing, the output of their full cost pricing will cover the investment they have.
The way we need to be thinking about innovating is really innovating to the most efficient technology process possible that's applicable everywhere. Because if we're thinking about something that's more expensive for North America and then we're going to try to sell something, it's not going to work. Somebody else is going to come right down the middle with a better idea that's developed it more efficiently and take the global market. So we can't think that way anymore.
But I think it's not about low technology. I think it's about low cost. And I think it's about high technology, and I'm going to use cell phones as an example. I don't know of a cell phone that's a low-tech cell phone. Even the simplest cell phone is a very high-tech cell phone. But they are available in low-cost regions because we figured out an appropriate high-tech solution at a reasonable cost. I think the challenge for us in the water sector, looking at that sector as an economy, is how do you sell something to people who have little money and little stable social infrastructure?
You know, sustainability is at the heart of every decision that we're making right now from a municipal perspective. If it's not sustainable, then forget it. It's off the mark. And sustainability to me comes at best value. And best value is if you can get the highest level of technology associated with that, and it's going to last and it's going to do the job, then you've got the job done.
As you know, municipal representatives, we know that we are 100% has to be the mark that we deliver. If we're going to partner with the private sector, the value of the risk transfer has to exceed the cost.